The light bulbs start to click.
It's more than you know.
I'm realizing that it hasn't been easy for me to speak my truth, and I think that's because my family has always seen me as a past version of myself. And it's not any hate towards my family. I love my family, but because they've known me for my whole life, they've seen me at different stages and different versions of myself. And the version that I'm currently becoming may not be so easy to take on because it's still new for myself. Me becoming more comfortable speaking may not be something that they're used to because growing up I was so quiet. On social media, it's a little different. I mean, I've based my business and all that I do around teaching and sharing knowledge and really just opening up about my own personal experience, especially on this show. I'm realizing that it's been a struggle for me to speak my truth and really to feel comfortable sharing my truth. And I guess, as I said, it stems from not being able to express myself in the way that I've wanted to early on. I'm going to share a quick story. Growing up, I had a strict father. My mom was very loving. My father was loving too in his own way, but I never really had an emotional connection to him. He had unhealed wounds, and when I was growing up, I didn't know that he had unhealed wounds. It's just he was very to himself, very strict, very disciplinarian. He was a Scorpio ascendant. He was very lively, very loving, when people were around, but then when people weren't around, he became this strict disciplinarian. And I never really got to know my father in the way that I wanted to know him. And I remember when he passed away in 2020 and I attended his funeral, I read his obituary and there were certain things that I learned about him in his obituary. I will never really get to chat with him, about who he was and the things that he actually did, because the things that he told me growing up weren't necessarily true as for what his obituary said. Coming into my own spiritual journey, I'm really starting to become more comfortable speaking. What I do sometimes, I'll pretend I'm in an interview and I will just speak about whatever. I'll speak about how I'm feeling today, certain things that I have evolved or progressed over time. I love being in the house by myself. And it's not saying that I'm like, I just always want to be by myself, but I love it when nobody's home and I get to just be my authentic self and nobody's there to judge me. So I realized that early on, because there was so much restriction, or I felt as though there was restriction around my self-expression, I would then present that restricted version onto the world. And it got to the point where I was people pleasing and I found myself not being truthful to who I truly was because I didn't feel safe in the world. And I think that stemmed from me not feeling safe and secure within my own family. And as I'm getting older and as I'm starting to realize is that everybody has their own issues that they're still working through. I understand that everybody's different on their healing journey. What I'm coming to realize in my life is that, you are really responsible for your life. But there's certain things that I do agree with and I don't agree with on the spiritual journey. This notion that you always have to be high vibes and 100% all the time. I don't agree with that. I agree that, you have to match a certain energy in order to attract the things that you're attracting. But I also feel like life is about becoming. Your manifestation is about becoming that thing, becoming that energetic match, becoming whatever it is that you want to become to attract whatever it is that you're attracting. So say, for instance, if you want $10,000, I saw a video on TikTok that said this: if you want $10,000, I feel as though the universe really prepares you for the $10,000. And that is the process of the manifestation, is really the preparation that goes into that. And I'm beginning to fall in love with the journey of becoming, not so much the journey of building the business. I love building my business because there are certain things I like, certain things I don't like. But I really am falling in love with the person that I'm becoming because I feel more open. I feel more myself when I'm able to just speak, rather it be in front of a camera. Well, years ago, I will say maybe a couple years ago, 2020, 2019, when I was in front of a camera, I would always people please. Now I don't find that I need to do that because I feel as though that I can come across in my true authentic self, and I really don't care if people like it or not, because at the end of the day, I think this is more for I guess, my own growth and my own process, and really to help out other people who may be struggling with third house themes such as like communication, speaking their truth, speaking their mind, but self-expression as well. Now I have Chiron in the fifth house in astrology. The girls that get it, you know. Not being able to feel that I could express myself or be confident within myself, because growing up, you know, I wasn't really taught self-love. I wasn't taught how to heal. I wasn't taught these things that I'm having to learn now in this part of my life, or relearn, really. My parents didn't really know how to heal because they're only going based off of what their parents told them and the experience that they have accumulated over their lives. And it's not to say that my parents aren't healing, it's just that wasn't taught, you know, and it wasn't really discussed in my family. My father especially, a lot of the things that he went through, I found out after his passing. I'm just learning now that, you know, it's just better to talk it out, you know. But one thing that has helped me is just being by myself and just being my authentic self and respecting, you know, who I am when I'm by myself. Because if I can't do that by myself, how do I expect other people to do that? Just know that the people that are meant for you, you don't have to make yourself uncomfortable to make them comfortable. I should write that down. That was good. You shouldn't have to take yourself out of peace to create peace. But what I'm going to tell you is you don't have to people please. Taking it from experience, you know, it's going to lead you down a path of self-destruction. I'll take that as confirmation. People pleasing is not going to do anything helpful for your life. It's really going to discredit your authenticity. And I'm going to leave you with that. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye.